We bring up this trail of thought because a trail of thought really is what your beliefs are about. A belief is only a thought you keep thinking, but we want to add a new phrase to that statement that you've been hearing us offer for a while. A belief is a vibration that you continue to activate for some reason. In other words, while Jerry and Esther have not thought about those particular people in a long time, that's still an active part of their life experience, as is most everyone's past an active part of your experience. Esther laughs as they drive in the monster bus across this nation. It is a rare road that they're on that Jerry doesn't have some memory about. Because he traveled as an entertainer, he traveled by car, he traveled all of the roads of this nation. And nearly all of the roads that he traveled, Jerry and Esther are still traveling. So he remembers that motel. He remembers what happened at that gas station. He remembers the people that lived in this town. And while most of it feels good when he reactivates it, every time you activate something from the past, you run the risk, and we don't mean to sound warning, we just can't find a better word of explaining. There is the potential of this activation because of this past experience not jiving with what's going on now. For example, when you go home for a vacation, home to your early roots, when you go back to visit your parents or the town that you grew up in or the people from your beginning, even if they're not still living where you lived, when you go back to those people, don't you find yourself beginning to behave like you did the last time you were there? Often. Because those familiar faces and places, the familiar food that they're eating, the familiar things that they think about, the familiar family albums that they get out, the familiar vibration of what that was is activated within you when you turn your attention to it. Whether you go there or not, or whether you just think about having been there. In other words, when you turn your attention homeward, so to speak, homeward to your physical family roots, you activate the vibration of that, and if you feel love and joy and friskiness when you're doing that, that means that those thoughts that are activating are blending with the most further extension of who you are, and all is really well. But if you feel irritated, if you feel ornery about it, if you feel lonely or homesick, if you get those nostalgic feelings that so often you associate with home, what that means is that thought activated something so far from who you now are that there is a discord within you. Esther said, after a while of understanding this, now I know what homesick means. Home makes you sick. And we mean that too, in the sense that when you activate those memories of when you felt less secure, or when someone didn't approve of you, or before you had figured out who you are, it's a very common thing for you to activate just by turning your attention to something that doesn't jive with who you are. But you don't have to go back home or back into your memory to do that. All day, every day, the thoughts you are focused upon, whether it is past, present, or future, whether it is a person, whether it is a place, whether it is a thing, whether it is a philosophy, whether it is an economy, whether it is a government, it doesn't matter what you've turned your attention to. It is certain that whatever it is, you're getting play-by-play feedback about whether this activated thought that you've got going on is beneficial or detrimental to you. Because your life has caused you to reach into new places. And then all day, every day, you've got this measurement going on to see how well you're reaching into the new place that life caused you to reach to. The best way of saying it is life has caused you to expand. The larger part of you, the inner being of you, has already taken that vibrational leap forward. And if you don't bring the rest of you along, then you feel the discord and you don't feel good. In short, if you are to live the joyful life that you have come forth to live, you've got to keep up with you. And we don't know any of you who can keep up with you when you're looking back. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would spend so little time looking into the past, it would be as if we were born today. We would spend so little time thinking about anything that had happened before, because everything that happened before your frequency was where it now is. So you're just almost certain of bringing discord to yourself by activating that. Now, we know good things happened in the past, and we know that you can selectively sift through it and find those good things. But you are forward-looking beings. It's one of the reasons that you don't stay in these physical bodies very long. You don't stay in these bodies very long because you get so enamored with the path that you have walked upon that you want to record it for all to hear. And when you do, it holds you back. It holds you back from where you're going. It keeps you from being who you really are. It's not good for you, so stop it. Or not. Whatever you want is fine. There are no rules to this game of life. There's just an incessant quest that is within you, and that is to feel good. And we're just letting you know why, when you don't feel good, what's going on, and why, when you do feel good, what's going on. And it is our desire, as we chew together in the hours that are before us, that you leave this gathering with a revived decision that nothing is more important than that you feel good, and you're going to look for love in the places where it is. There are so many people looking for love in all the wrong places. And we want you to understand that where it is forward looking. Where it is where the whole of you is. Where it is where the source that is within you has evolved to because of what you have lived. We have to make a very strong statement here. If life had not caused you to become more, you would not feel uncomfortable when you don't become it. You got to keep up with you. You just got to keep up with you. You just got to keep up with you, you see. A woman one day was talking to us about a relationship that she was wanting to attract. And we were coaching her about how to speak about it as it is. We were wanting her to train her expectation into being inside this relationship as she wants it to be. But she was speaking about it at such arm's length. You could tell that she didn't feel a part of it. And she said, I see two people walking down the beach. And we said, are you one of them? Because we want her to feel, to be inside the experience, to expect it to be. So what we want to say to you is that you are the creator of your reality. But even more poignantly, we want to say to you, the reality that you are creating is you. You are the creator and you are the creation. When you ask for something, you ask for that version of you living that experience. And the thing that so often our physical friends do not remember is that as you sift through this contrast and ask for a variety of things all day, every day, there is a vibrational reality. We're calling it your vortex of creation that is assembling. And the reason that we want to draw your attention to this is because since this is the eternal part of you, this is the larger part of you, since your inner being is the immediate recipient of what you're asking for, and law of attraction is responding to the request from this non-physical you point of view, when you ask, it is given, it is done. It is a vortex of creation. And the reason that that is so is because law of attraction is responding to the purity of those vibrational requests. Law of attraction is assembling all cooperative components. And the question that we want you to ask yourself and find the answer maybe here today is, are you a cooperative component? Esther wants strawberry jam for Jerry. She wants it. But is she a cooperative component when she brings jam with her? In other words, is she a cooperative component? She wants the hotel to respond to her note, to respond to her request. She wants them to succeed. She wants them to be efficient. She wants them to do a good job. She wants them to be proud of what they do. She wants them to earn well. She wants them to please her and other guests. She wants them to excel. She wants their success. But when she brings her strawberry jam, you got to know she's not really all that much of a cooperative component to her desire. because her expectation is somewhere else. In order to be a cooperative component, you have no contradictory thought. You have no contrasting thought. You have no resistant thought. Your thought about what you want is in sync with who you are and all that you have become. And that's what the art of allowing is. Allowing is allowing myself, by virtue of the thoughts I'm choosing, to be a vibrational match to the furthermost expanded part of me. Allowing myself to be up to speed with who I have become. Every time life helps you to know what you don't want, you put forth a request of what you do want. And this is the important part for you to understand. You expand. The larger part of you becomes it. Immediately. That's why when we say, ask and it is given, we're not kidding even a little bit. But our physical friends sometimes, in fact often say, that can't be true because I know I've been asking. I wrote it in big letters. I know I've been asking. Don't give me this ask and it is given stuff because I'm asking. Where is it? Where is it? I ask, where is it? I ask, where is it? And we say, you're not asking with your words, you're not asking with your notes, you're not asking with your laws, you're asking with your vibration, and you got to line up with it. You have to learn how to allow yourself to be in vibrational sync with what you're asking for. And when that expectation clicks into place, you'll know it, because the manifestations of everything that you're asking for click into place too. You are creators. Creators are always looking forward into what is becoming, not backward or downward into what is. When you are driving your vehicle, hopefully you're looking where you're going, not where you've been, and not where you are. You don't have those mirrors. They would make you sick if you had them. They'll look right down at the road, right where you are. Think about that. You wouldn't want to go very fast into those conditions, would you? You're just looking right down at where you are. You want to look forward to where you're going. And we want you to understand that as you become forward looking, and by forward looking we mean as you become one who looks in the direction not only of that which you want, but hear this, looks in the direction of that which the larger part of you has already become. Did you hear that? Can you hear the importance of your step one part of this process? Contrast causes you to ask and source the inner being that is you, the God within you, the all that isness, collects the data of the best of life. Now we want to ask you a question. When you know what you don't want, when you see someone rude, when you see a mass murder, when you see some abhorrent experience, when you see something that you really, really, really know that you don't want, when you see people suffering, when you see people encouraging suffering, when you see those things you don't want to see, whether it's humans or animals or earth, when you see something you don't want to see, do you understand that in that moment you offer an equal and a commensurate and exactly equal, proportionate request that is exactly on the other side of what you don't want? In other words, when you're really sick, you really ask for wellness. If you're sort of sick, you sort of ask for wellness. If you're sort of confused, you sort of ask for clarity. If you're really confused, you really ask for clarity. In other words, your request is always proportionate to what you are allowing yourself to live. And for that reason, in this time of greatest diversity, which is a good thing, not a bad thing, as you are mixing it up with one another, you are asking massively. And as you don't allow yourself as individuals to go in the direction of what you're asking for, it just causes you to ask harder and stronger and more often. So that the requests that this time-space reality are sending forth into the vibrational escrow of mass consciousness is bigger and faster and more than it has ever been before. This stream is moving fast, and the answering to what you're asking for is happening in greater abundance than ever before. This pool of abundance that you have requested is at its all-time high and getting greater in every day, which means your propensity for thriving is greater than it has ever been. Your propensity for suffering is greater than it has ever been also. Because it's always equal. In other words, when who you have become is more and you don't let yourself become it, you don't feel so good. Fortunately, as individuals, you don't have to wait for everybody to figure it out before you have the ease of alignment. You get to individually go with the flow of that which you have become, and when you do, you come into alignment with who you are. So step 1 is you ask. Step 2 is source answers. Step 3 is you got to find some way somehow to become a vibrational match to what you've been asking for.